Good day or good evening. My name is LCabrera Module4. No matter what day that you are or time of day you are watching this presentation, I want to welcome you. I will be presenting on Module 4, our leadership theories. I will be exploring the contingency leadership theory, continuum theory, path goal leadership theory, and leadership substitutes theory. According to Fred E. Felder, leadership's model, the environment will determine if a leader is well suited and will be effective. If the environment is a team environment, a leader who is more relationship oriented will be more effective than someone whose main focus seems to be on tasks. To ascertain what someone's strong suit may be, Felder incorporated the LPC, or least preferred coworker, as a model. If a leader is more concerned with maintaining relationships with followers, they are more prone to relationship-oriented leadership. That is in our text in Lucier and Nachua 2016. I have a quote here from Fred Felder, which says, "The quality of leadership, more than any other single factor, determines the success or failure of the organization." In 2018, in their study with Hadgewich and Pop, they explored the effectiveness of the contingency theory on employees in the service industry. Their findings were in accordance with the three dichotomies of the contingency theory: favorable versus unfavorable conditions, employee task structure, and leadership power. Their findings were that when employees viewed their environment as favorable and they were task-oriented to provide high quality of service along with strong leadership, customer satisfaction increased. This had the added benefit of customer loyalty, which was the overall goal of that time period when the service industry saw a decline. That's from Hadgewich and Pop 2018. This will bring us into our next theory, where we're discussing the continuum. In real life, the most practical advice for leaders is not to treat pawns as pawns or princes like princes, but people as people. And that's from James McGregor Burns, who was a Pulitzer Prize-winning presidential biographer and wrote numerous books on the study of leadership. Although I don't agree with the word pawns in the description of people, McGregor knew his audience, and his goal was to get traditional bosses to view subordinates as people. Likewise, nepotism should be curtailed in lieu of qualifications and suitability for the role. This fits the time frame for the original theory, which is from the 1950s, the continuum model by Tannenbaum and Smith, where it was foreseen to be a shift from autocratic to participative leadership. That, again, is from our text, Lucier and Nachua 2016. Here we can see a little bit more detail about the leadership continuum. Educator Marina Arshafsky, wrote that leaders exist on a continuum like a bell curve and are able to vary skills based on the situation. The idea of the continuum was innovative to shift leadership into being people-oriented. The allowance for subordinates to share ideas freely as a concept that was worth exploring. This was popular in theory but lacked application. The how and the when to shift styles was not clearly defined by the theory and the model, and thus it was hard to determine, from our text, Lucier and Nachua 2016. So that was one of the criticisms of this particular model, even though it was popular. Now, our third model of leadership and theory of leadership that we're going to explore is the path goal leadership theory. So path goal leadership theory is the meta proposition that leaders to be effective engage in behaviors that complement subordinates, environments, and ability. And that's from Robert House. It's one of the forefront of the leadership theory. The path goal leadership model is an adaptive style to suit any employee, situation, or environment. In this model, the leader chooses what style will be most effective in the situation or for the task. This may vary from directive, supportive, participative, or achievement-oriented, or again, task-oriented leadership. The motivation is clearer steps for followers to achieve rewards and to give rewards based on their desire. From our text, LCabrera Module4, 2016. So here we can see the components of the path goal leadership theory: leadership behaviors, subordinate characteristics, task characteristics, and motivation, whatever that motivation may be for the particular subordinate this is catered to. The path goal leadership theory seeks to understand the mindsets of subordinates to determine what will motivate them to be productive. Along with this, the theory provides specific steps for subordinates to follow in order to achieve their intended goals. Their satisfaction will lead to greater motivation and productivity, which will benefit all. It's according to Green in 1979. The last theory that we'll be exploring today is the substitutes for leadership theory. This is the theory that recognizes that the need and the growth of the organization. The leader cannot be everywhere at the same time. That's unreasonable, and it's not put into practice very well. So the contingency of this model leads to people being self-managed and having self-managed teams where the behavior of the leader is replicated by the team without the presence of the leader being necessary, according to LCabrera Module4. This is the particular model that is one of the models that is really input in this current school district in which I work. Currently, I teach in a school that is an education campus, which is pretty rare even for Washington, D.C. This is from pre-K3 all the way to 8th grade. There is no way that one principal, we only have one principal, one MLA, which is a combination of an administrator and also an assistant principal, all in one person. And it's no way that they can be everywhere at one time. So I am the grade level chair for the early childhood education team. I do pre-K3 all the way up to kindergarten. So I'm the lead for pre-K3 all the way to kindergarten. And then we have a first, second grade team, a third, fourth grade team, a fifth, sixth grade team, and a seventh and eighth grade team. So in order that our principal does not have to be in the same place at the same time, this is a theory that really rests upon that we have well-educated, well-suited employees of our organization that are able to self-manage themselves and understand the goals and the values of the organization. And with a team leader, we have basically self-managed teams. And we replicate, duplicate. A good leader can always duplicate themselves. Here are my references. And in closing, I would just like to thank you for choosing my presentation and for all the feedback and the wonderful exchanges that we have during class. Have a wonderful evening or a great day.